Ready? Intro? Welcome to the WFDF 2018 World Ultimate Club Championships here in the Lebanon Sports Complex, just northeast of Cincinnati, Ohio. We're at our first game of the day. We have the unbreakable, unshakable Hässliche Erdferkel German champions taking on the men and women from down under, Australian champions Friskee. And yeah, it is baking hot here in Cincinnati. The sun has just come out. I'm Liam Grant, joined by Emmy Fitzgerald. Emmy, delighted to have you here.
Yes, I'm delighted to be here. This is an exciting match of two teams in the pool who so far have had similar results. They were saying that both teams saying that their point differentials in their two games in the first game of pool play were about the same, winning each of their pool play games so far pretty handily. We'll see if that is an indication about how evenly matched they are, but Hässliche Erdferkel is a young team that kind of burst onto the scene in that German mixed scene, coming out of Marburg, Germany, a college town, small community, so they're very tight-knit that way. But on the Friskee side, they are a long program from about 2006. I'm echoing in my ear.
Yeah, two nations that traditionally have done very well in the mixed division. We've seen the likes of the German mixed team win World Championships at Beach Ultimate. We saw an Australian team in London 2016, the national mixed team there, get a silver medal. So two nations that take a lot of pride in this division, and it's going to be a really tight match. Both O-lines have been fantastic so far on day one. So this will be the first real challenge, I think, for both teams. Temperature really picking up now. It's been very humid as well in these opening games, day one and day two. A lot of drops, I think, because of that. So we'll see if that will play a factor. We had a bit of rain yesterday, just as the last pull went down. The heavens opened up and we got some rain, but good for the grass, definitely.
Great layout conditions here for sure. And it was mistier first thing this morning, but now cool but getting sunnier.
And looks like the Australians will be coming out on offense. And there'll be four males on the line. See Catherine O'Neill on the O-line for Friskee. Would have saw her back in the under-23 championships in London. Got a silver medal there. She'll be hoping to get another medal for her trophy cabinet. Not exactly sure what time or day it is in Australia, but I'm sure everyone's having beer, barbecues out, just watching this game.
I think they're about 13 hours or so ahead of us.
And the first pull is up. This game is underway. Eshan Bekrama catching the pull, coming out in a horizontal stack. Michael Thomas puts one up straight away. This is how Australians play. This is going to be a sky ball. Oh, and well read by the Hässliche Erdferkel defender, Stephanie Bieber. Bieber getting under that one.
And Hässliche Erdferkel did a great job really closing in on those defenders.
First chance to break. Not a lot of options. Getting a cross field pass. That was beautiful. Then the blind deep shot is there. It's going to be contested. Oh, what a great throw! Snatched out of the sky. First break goes to the Germans.
Starting off right away with a break. That was Moritz Müller there with the sky. So athletic on that grab.
Those two men right beside each other, so he gets the skying awards there.
Müller,
Best position as well.
yes, he definitely had great position. He's been playing for 11 years, so was really honed in that skill of reading the disc.
Yeah, not the way Friskies would have wanted to start off this game. As you see, they like the hook. That one a little bit wayward, and I think the Germans have done their homework and well researched on how they want to play, so let's see if they can mix it up this point.
And so far, a game of hucks on both sides of the field.
It's got their whole line a little bit. There's going to be a lot of rotation there. It's not a set line. You see how it's coming down the line now as well. This one's going to be brick. This one, so Grandma is going to take it at the brick mark. Did you see any other mixed division games yesterday, Emmy?
So far, no. I have not seen any mixed division games between kind of being here and when we've been in our bye rounds, but some interesting results as well.
Hässliche Erdferkel come out with a zone here. Get the inside break there. That's not on. Oh, and tries to save it. And again, another turn from Friskee. Trying to get 2 breaks on the bounce now. Julian Osser. Big fake. He's up on his knees. Gets it back to Julian. Nice inside break, and the Germans are waiting and ready for this game. Nora welcoming. Oh, tries the big round backhand, but doesn't come off. Yeah, this is the third time getting a chance to score now for Friskee. Failed the first 2 attempts. Dan gone deep, but he thinks better. Sets it around. Nice and easy in the handlers. Now we see the big shot come up. Rick Bremen, the handler went deep, and I don't know what's happened to the Friskee offense this morning. Maybe still in Australian time, about as sharp as the Satsuma right now.
I think they're have a little bit of a nerves. This is a big game. They're on the live stream, but I appreciate that they're trying to do something different. Send the handler deep, and if nothing else, yes, it's a turnover, but now it's on this side of the field.
Emmy is echoing really bad for both of us. Now, Erdferkel mounting up his first stack. The inside break. Step around to Müller. Thomas Müller this time. Christian Bent. Müller on the inside. Everything's there, going deep. So they play it safe. Is there. Looks for the give go. Now it's Nora opening on the under. Doesn't want to get 2 turnovers right at this point. Well, that one a bit high and wayward, and well gathered up. Now we see Rebecca Carmen gets this Friskee offense moving. Michael Thomas, they're off the races, they shoot. Oh, great fakes. And on the reset, big face marks. Trying to set up their end zone offenses here. End zone echoing from the sideline. Oh, and oh, a wayward pass. A discussion if there was a foul or a strip. A little pat in the hand. It'll come in with Michael Thomas.
And Thomas was there, available for that second attempt.
Yeah, able to bail that one out. They've not found the flow they want. Dan on the disc. Oh, gets a nice sneaky inside break. And then with a continuation, that is beautiful handler movement. Just what the doctor ordered. Friskee get on the board, tie it up.
Alexander Gann with that great strike cut into the end zone. And gotta hand it to Friskee, getting broke in the first point, but then really working through, forcing turnovers, being really aggressive, using the positioning on the field so that they're able to hold their second point of the game. Now we're tied up.
Yeah, I think you need players like Alexander Gann to take control when things are going a little wayward. Beautiful handler move. We see that inside break and just follows the continuation cut. And another leading IO flick. That is beautiful. The man has represented Australia before at the World Ultimate Guts Championships in London with the Open teams. He's a lot of experience at this international level.
You can definitely see that there. The 22-year-old software developer living in Perth.
And a little knowledge bomb for you now, Amy. This Hässliche Erdferkel O-line has yet to be broken. They've converted every point they've played so far this tournament.
Wow.
I think this will be their big test. There's a lot of big defenders. You see Rory O'Connell with that pull. But that's an achievement no matter what opposition you're playing to have a perfect goal line. Now they did turn over, but they converted every O point they got.
And that's
Last Hogan. Again, slow and steady wins the race. You see Nora looking now. Oh, and a big shot put up to their captain. Roy Call under it. Oh, and a great box out. Beautiful goal. Stefan Dosher beating O'Connell this time.
Stefan Dosher, so much athleticism, using two hands to catch the disc, knowing that his defender was so close to him. And that's an efficient offense. Didn't take a lot of points. Not going to tire yourself out at the beginning of the game. And way to just put your teammate in power position, shooting straight for the end zone.
See Roy O'Connell there trying to make a bid, but just didn't have position. A man I've played it before back in last year at the Windmill in Amsterdam. He's now sporting a nice little soup strainer there. You see his mustache. Looks quite nice, very fashionable.
He's ready for the sweat that comes with these humid conditions. Probably not much humidity in Germany.
Yeah, Roy, a big man with a good vertical jump, but kudos to Stefan Dosher. He boxed out so well there. That was positioning 101. He had to slow down and just let the disc come around the defender, and then was able to gather it quite easily with two hands. Friskee O-line can score without turning over now. Really strong. Oh, exactly what to do first pass. They are not awake this morning.
That happens where you just catch and turn.
Oh, and punish very quickly. Beautiful cross field, frosty flick from Julian Ozer. Wasting no time. Bangs it straight in.
And Erdferkel just really converting on those opportunities quickly. Talk about a D-line efficiency, picking it up, picking up the disc and immediately throwing it into the end zone.
And Hässliche Erdferkel with another break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Catch it early. Help us teach kids about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics. Join us and speak up.
Welcome back to the World Ultimate Club Championships. We're here in the mixed division as Hässliche Erdferkel from Germany takes on Friskee, the Aussie champions. Hässliche Erdferkel taking an early lead, getting two breaks. Friskee now on offense with a side stack, looking to isolate Gan. Getting a deep receiver going. This one, oh, right on the money. Deborah Lee and shoots it straight in, and that's the offense you wanted to see.
And clearly a set play coming out of the timeout. And Gan making that shot down the line to Rebecca Carmen, sometimes that's risky, but Carmen had such great closing speed on that huck, and then a continuation from her teammate to be able to convert really quickly.
Yeah, the Australians known for their athleticism, and this time coming out in that side stack, isolating two players, give them space to make those throws, and That one just exactly what they wanted to do.
And that was Deborah Lee who caught the deep puck.
I thought it was a little far when it first came out. I didn't think she was going to get there, but actually ran it down with ease.
She's so fast. Lee actually from Singapore, but living in Sydney right now. And she was playing squash. She played squash for 7 years and wanted to try out for a sport that wasn't confined to a room. Plenty of space on the Frisbee pitch.
Saying that as well, I've played a few ultimate games indoors. It does happen, especially in winter time in Europe.
Indoors fun also. I like playing mini.
See this unbreakable O-line out here again. Takes the deep shot on him. Beautiful cross field. Stefan Doscher seems to be being poked deep. They don't want him to score in the end zone again. 4 players back right now behind the disc as they clear through. In no rush to get things going. Slow and steady wins the race.
Now just 2 handlers back.
Yeah, I see they're flowing in and out of different structures from time to time. But maybe this isn't what they're wanting to do. Puts it out in the space. That was beautiful. Two boxes there. And you know they're going to send it to him. Stefan Doscher, can he get to before it drifts out of bounds? Yes, he can. Second goal for him.
Talk about patience from the Hässliche Erdferkel offense. Losing yards, but finally gets a handler into power position and says, okay, let's send this to the other side of the field. Beautiful huck from Christian Hamann.
Sebastian Hardy with a very difficult task of marking Doscher. He actually shut him down several times in that point and went on for another minute or so. And the one time he didn't have him in his back pocket, he scores. And that's the difficulty of marking a top caliber player like Doscher, who's going to be representing the German mixed national team at the US Open in a few weeks. Emmy, I believe you're going to be there.
Yes, I will be there. We'll have a great live stream.
Yeah, quite a few teams from Europe and across the globe heading over to the US Open. It's great that this event happens now and inviting a few teams to add some color to the tournament, a bit more flavor. So I think the German mixed national team will do really well.
So far, an exciting game for both of these squads. I'm curious to see how many passes Friskee will take. The fewer passes, the more success they've had.
Objective of the game is getting in the end zone. The quicker the better. Again, they go for that side stack. They change up a little bit, but Dan gets it again, and then another female cutter free in the end zone as they bring goal. Pretty identical.
As Rebecca Carmen straight into the end zone, and I'd like to say that we called it, right? We knew that if they were going to be successful, it would take a handful of passes.
Yeah, you called it, Amy. And a timeout is called. I believe Erdferkel want to talk about how they're going to stop this groove the Australians have found. Again, isolating Dan in that kind of midsection, then throw a continuation hook. And I think they're looking for their females deep quite a lot. That's their tactic. Maybe they feel that the matchups there. Rebecca, Carmen, and oodles of space.
And maybe some defensive adjustments from the Hässliche Erdferkel side to maybe recognize the last back in defense or employ a over-under a bracketing style where one person takes away the unders, another person takes away the deep. But Friskee really capitalizing on that power position and the isolation you were talking about underneath.
Yeah, looking at the results of this pool earlier, we saw both teams going 2-0. Friskee beating Eurosol from Colombia 15-11 and Panthers Bern 15-5. While Hässliche Erdferkel beating EQ, I think 15-9, and also beating the Panthers 15-5.
So big day so far in the first day of pool play. And just across the board, all kinds of teams from all over the place in this pool. We have Germany and Australia, of course, here, then Japan, Iku, Liam that you were talking about, Diskertext, and from Spain, Aerosol, Colombia, and Panthers Burn from Switzerland. But it really seems like this is the top of the pool right now, matching up against each other.
Yeah, this is the big showdown in this pool. Roy O'Connell again with the pull. We'll see who marks Gosher in this one. Looks like they're coming down to the zone. O'Connell in the middle there. This might play into the hands of the Germans. Very smart players. Oh, and a cheeky scooter in the middle of that space. And the hook goes up now. It's Jonas Tigerman. Oh, takes it down. Gets up quite early.
I thought that Jonas Tigerman would have that, but once he started to slow down, you could see that it was a little bit further in front of him, that it would take quite a bit and maybe another 6 inches of length to get there.
O'Connell picking up. Oh, and the poaching lane doesn't get there. He's able to run through it. Back to O'Connell. Murphy. Steelman. All the field looks like a collision downfield. If Friskies can knock this one in, it would be the first break scored against this German O-line.
So Hässliche Erdferkel definitely recognizing that.
Now look at the end zone. Deucer field off the back. Oh, and he tips it. Can he get there the second attempt? Oh, that's a goal!
That is a goal. Second shot at the back of the end zone.
And the first pimple on the face of this Hässliche Erdferkel O-line. Very confused as to how they didn't score.
The first break against the Hässliche Erdferkel O-line so far in the tournament. However, it is only day 2 of pool play as well.
O'Connell to Steelman. Doesn't get on the first attempt. Gets huge here in his first jump. And ends up macking it to himself. Maybe not.
So if our audio has been a little off so far in the broadcast, the humidity from the fields is really causing some havoc on our cabling. So thank you for being patient with us. But we do have an exciting game on tap here so far.
Yeah, timeout here called by Hässliche Erdferkel. Again, first time their O-line has been broken all tournament long. Kudos to Friskee for taking him down in that point. Spielman with the big goal, macking it to himself. And they will call out 4 males on offense.
And of course, this is their first break, but Friskee's O-line was broken earlier as well. So we're back on serve, I believe, tied up at 4 apiece. So this is turning into a pretty exciting game on this Tuesday morning in Lebanon, Ohio, about 40 minutes or so outside of Cincinnati.
See Friskee now freshening up their D-line. Get a new 7 players out there. Fresh legs, try and run this Erdferkel line into the ground. That is A ginormous pull soaring into the Cincinnati sky. Will it stay in bounds? Oh, I think it may have landed and it rolled out. Not entirely sure. Let's go, Friskee! I'm not sure if you can see humidity, but you can definitely feel it. And this one will be bricked. With 4 handlers back now. Erdferkel and 3 people isolated downfield. Unusual, but for most offenses, but kind of seen quite a lot in Germany. Deep shot is there. We see now, Tigerman, can he get it? It's a great goal. Back to perfection for the Hässliche Erdferkel offense.
And you can definitely see what works for this Hässliche Erdferkel offense. Few passes, getting into power position, and then looking for Tigerman in the end zone. I mean, this is very similar to the score earlier, on that time on the other side of the field. Really recognizing those matchups. I will be curious to see the women involved a little bit more at times in some of those passes underneath. But at
Yeah, and I've covered this team before, and we've often seen Nora Vilkening, being exceptional downfield for this whole line. She hasn't really engaged in the game yet, so they definitely have the female players to go deep as well, but not so far this game. And for anyone that doesn't know, Hässliche Erdferkel actually means ugly aardvark when translated in English, which seems like an unusual name, but they've kind of reinvented the word ugly for them. A lot of times, if someone makes a great throw, they're like, "Oh, that's so ugly, that was great." Like they've kind of recaptured that spirit of ugliness and made it their own. So I think that's really cool.
So I'm sure they'll be giving each other a lot of ugly compliments.
Dan sends one deep for the third time. This is the Parsons. Under it, and who's there in support yet again? It is Michael Thomas. First man down every time. We see Dan throwing it deep. And if one of their female cutters isn't in the end zone yet, we always seem to have Michael Thomas in support. Great teamwork from the Friskies.
It's a really nice read from Rachel Parsons, keeping her eyes on the disc the entire time. Thought it might sail out of bounds to that far sideline, and then Thomas doing a great job following the disc. He had enough spacing that his defender really couldn't get there.
Alex Mann has been an absolute maestro this game as well. They put a lot of a responsibility on him to get free first pass and just chuck it essentially, and he's delivered on the money several times now. Only really faltering that first point Friskies, but they're going to have to try and get back in lead with Hässliche Erdferkel starting offense, have the advantage. They can't afford us to trade this game out. O'Connell with the pull. Hogan. Dosha. Back to Hogan. Vilkening now has to leave her feet to gather up that one. Has quite long spaghetti arms and able to reach around the defender. Vilkening. Hammond. We're in a tight little gap to squeeze that one through, and here we have Vilkening going deep. Just what I said earlier, I'm surprised she hadn't gone deep yet in this game, and you can see why. She is absolutely amazing at finding free space.
Really did find that opening, and I think it's nice then to see looking to different receivers, and also throws Friskee off of maybe that defensive predictability.
Hässliche Erdferkel keep their lead. The Germans 6, Australians 5.
Catch it early. Help us teach kids about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics. Join us and speak up.
Welcome back to the WFDF 2018 World Ultimate Club Championships here in Lebanon, Ohio. We have a big battle in the mixed division. Hässliche Erdferkel taking on Friskee. Got a break first game, but Friskee answered back. But since starting on offense, they have that little lead as we near halftime. Now the sideline Friskee again. I was waiting for this deep shot to go. This time it's Gan underneath. Doesn't have the height matchup. Oh, and a great defensive play. Using his arm length to get that one. Julian Ozair gets the D and is going to walk this one up to the front of the end zone. Yeah, and Gan didn't really stand a chance as you see the replays. Got a great vertical jump, but didn't have time. This one, an absolute buttery biscuit to no one. Sails the length of the pitch. Looks like he's going for field position here, Emmy.
What a bomb of a throw. Typically, you see a throw like that, that's more of a plug and play D strategy.
Friskee's go again. Trying to isolate Gannon. It looks like the Hässliche Erdferkel defense have adjusted to try and take away unders from him, which is probably a good call. Wikrama trying to have more an influence on this game. Open swing, that one almost cutting the daisies. Seems like there's a call in the field. Looks like someone thought it was down. I think it was close, but not quite there. Looks like there's going to be a little discussion about it. Yeah, a little discussion about whether it's up or down. Very long grass here in Ohio. Maybe a little longer and luscious than a lot of players are used to. So this one looks like it's going to go back. Oh, it's going to be called down. So Hässliche Erdferkel with a chance to break. Sauntering up to the disc is Julian Ozair. Coming out with a vertical stack. Looks like there's some plan or strategy. Not coming off though. Getting high up in the stall count. Shoots to the end zone. Will this one pay off? No. Getting high in the stall count. And Ida Dumo, another player going to the US Open with the German mixed team, can't chase that down. That was very much a huck and hope attempt there. Great shutdown defense from this Aussie O-line. Eshwan Wikrama coming out of Sydney as well, like many folk on this team. Wikrama coming out in a horizontal stack now, no side stack. Eunice Chung sends it again. Two Friskee players there, leaves it to Gan, who puts out a beautiful dish to the end zone. That's the offense they've been running all game. And this time we see Gan is being taken away under. They're trying to force him deep. He doesn't have the height. He clearly has fantastic throws, but this time able to connect with Eunice Chung with a beautiful arcing backhand. Two players there. Georgia Ewan says, "I'll leave that to Gan and I'll get the stats. I want my goal." So yeah, we seem to be flipping between the audio who's working. We definitely have two microphones, but only one of them seems to want to work at a time here in Lebanon, Ohio. But thankfully, the player is working to perfection. As we see now, Catherine Smith, one of the elite athletes playing with the Asian Oceanic All-Stars tour that's happening straight after this event. And she's known for her big cannons as she sends that pull down the field. Looks like it's kind of a zony look with Smith minding the house. And again, just trying to shut down the set pieces that Erdferkel have well drilled, but doing great so far. Vilkening, and now we see the deep shot goes, and yes, it does. Yet again, Jonas Tigerman, beautiful read, gets up, and they are a well-oiled offense. And Tigerman, he doesn't seem to do much until he just kind of hangs around and waits for that deep opportunity to come. Vilkening, again, great give-go offense, and that's Tigerman's cue to put the foot down. Again, beautiful position. Friskee player makes a great bid and does well to avoid body contact. Again, a very spirited game so far. I don't think there's been a foul call yet or any unnecessary contact. We see Catherine Smith now coming onto the O-line, played the last 2 points, hasn't really made an impact on this game yet, and I'm surprised because she's one of the top players out of Australia. I was thinking maybe they're resting her or she's carrying an injury, but now playing 2 points in a row, so trying to get her more involved in this game. First game coming up in the Asian Oceanic All-Star Tours against New York Bent. Be sure to check them out on Facebook, Instagram, etc. to follow the tour. Now with Gan. Friskee's doing their horizontal stack. To Smith. To Gan. Hesitates on the deep shot. With Rema, who's just the axis of this O-line. Not taking on any big shots, but just keeping this moving as you see here. Now to Gan. Thomas. Oh, that one almost spilling. Oh, and it looks like it has. Bumbling out of Rebecca Carmen's hands. And yet again, they go straight away. And maybe a little rush there from the Germans. Now's a chance to break for half. That would have been a huge goal. And you can see this Erdferkel team have actually stacked this lead line. We've seen Dosher coming on. Usually an O-line player. So they're thinking, let's stack this line. If we can break for half, then we can rest these players. If not, if they don't get this break, I'll imagine they're going to call timeout and let those few players they brought on, Dosher and Vilkening, get a rest. Or perhaps they just have the engines to keep going. Not a lot of options. Quick Rema Gan now doing his best. Oh, and he just has to do a huck and hope, which may pay off, especially with these athletic Australians. And Thomas seems to be everywhere when you need him. And he just chills out now, lets his offense flow downfield. Gan struggling to get free now with Dosher on him. Wick Rema. Thomas just seems to be unmarked at all stages of the game. Now gets the upline to Gan. Will he shoot? Pick called. I don't think it'll affect the pass to Gan. He's signaling for Dosher to go behind him. He's still pointing, suggesting that when that pick was called, he had a yard or two. Don't know if it's going to make a huge difference. Let's see if he goes for the quick one, Gan. And he does, around the corner. And a great goal to tie us up at 7. We are at what many Europeans would call Galaxy Point. One of Mike Palmer's favorites. Not something commonly said anywhere else in the world. And probably for good reason. But We like our little lulls in Europe. So yeah, this is next point gets the half, and Erdferkel call that timeout. They want to give Vilkening and Dosher a break after swapping over to the D line. They see this as a huge point. If Friskee could break here, they'd actually come out on offense, so it's also a big opportunity for them. So we're likely to see best 7 players on each line right now. This is a game-swinging point. So all tied up here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Friskee 7, Hässliche Erdferkel 7.
There is a place where we are us at our best.
A place where everyone is welcome,
regardless of age, shape, skin color, or anything else that tries to box people in.
A place where we defy the odds.
And even defy gravity.
a place that knows grit, knows grace, knows bright lights, and knows empty bleachers.
A place where we remember to laugh.
Where we learn to trust.
And eventually, even learn to fly.
A place where character, community, and competition
Are all as balanced as a disc in flight.
That place isn't in a stadium or on a field.
That place is in the spirit of our players.
Because we don't just play Ultimate, we live Ultimate.
Welcome back. Friskee coming out in defense now. Rory O'Connell with the disc. Looks like he's going to take this pull. Big opportunity to get a break for a half. Erdferkel want to play that smooth, luscious offense they've been playing all week. Only broken once so far this tournament in this game. And again, it's Friskee kind of playing a little junk zone look, just trying to slow them down. Vilkening. High release backhand. Looks for the disc again. Hugin gets the inside now to Tigerman. Usually only catches the disc in the end zone. Hamann across field. Nice give go. Julia Lutz. Hamann likes the point to kind of orchestrate the offense, trying to pull the strings verbally as well as with his arms. And Friskee doing very well to stifle this offense. Not a lot of options. Parsons in the backfield. And I like how the Friskee team have been doing that quite a lot. They're deeping one of their very tall athletic women. And now it looks like they're transitioning to a match defense. Vilkening matched up against Parsons. A big head-to-head there. Hamann has the deep shot. Decides against it. Same turn of the field. Always going to be difficult. Roy O'Connell in pursuit of Dosher. Oh, and he slides one out of his hands. I don't know if there's a call. Didn't look like there was contact. Sebastian Hardy on the mark. I don't know if he clipped his own ear there or realized he left the oven on at some stage and just forgot what he was doing. But for some reason he's getting it back. So it looks like there was some kind of contact there. Perhaps Parsons. I think maybe it's Parsons behind him. Maybe catching her ponytail. So Hamann now with the disc. Again, great effort so far from this Friskee defense. Forcing them backwards. Hugin to Hamann. Now getting Dosher on the under. And he's coming back to try and muscle this one out. Dosher, Vilkening. Hamann now. Hugin. Hitting Dosher on his under. It feels like he has the free space under. Tigerman. Players starting to look a little tired. Dosher grinding it out.
trying to just get those unders. He knows he can get upfield. Now the crossfield pass to the speedy German. Can he toe the bounds? No, he can't. Friskee's now at a huge opportunity. Their sideline is pumped. Hearts racing. This could really swing momentum to them. Difficult position to be picking up the front cone of your own end zone. But the Erdferkel O-line quite tired after grinding out that one. And then a loose pass straight away. Now we see the hammer to Dosher trying to box out again, but can't keep out O'Connell, who gets up and over. A wayward pass. I think both teams quite tired. Threads the needle there. Oh, and a slip. Oh, how unfortunate. An unfortunate sequence of errors for both teams is the heat in Cincinnati getting to them. And also the slippy surface. Hammond. Dosher now getting just easy unders from O'Connell. He doesn't want him to go deep. Same with Tigeman. Oh, a spicy push pass back to Hammond, who seems a little frustrated at how this point's going. It has to do with one of these big arcing blades, which seems quite dangerous, but he's nailed it every time. Dosher now back to Hammond. Parked on the WUCC logo. Trying to get the hook off and gets it on the third attempt, possibly too late. Oh, looks like a great read. And that is halftime. Great goal. Lars Hogan getting his first point of the game, and a hard one for Friskee. So 2 chances to get that all-important break. But Erdferkel hold yet again.
And all of those swing passes from Christian Hamann were just so effective. And so much patience then. Yes, they ended up turning it over twice in that point, but eventually converted when they needed to. Sometimes using some riskier throws, but they paid off.
Yeah, I think that was great defense from Friskees. They got 2 attempts there, and I see what they're trying to do is they're trying to shut down the German male players going deep. So they're able to get a few unders, but weren't getting a lot of yards, and just forcing them to do a lot more passes has generated some turns. And then just an unfortunate slip, a wayward pass. I think maybe just quite tired as well from that great shutdown defense. It's very hard to then pick up the disc and try and play smooth offense. So we'll be back shortly for the second half. Just a 5-minute break for players to grab a little water, and stay tuned for some more great Ultimate. Welcome back from the vortex of doom. We are here at the WFDF World Ultimate Club Championships here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We've been watching a great game of Ultimate. You've probably been watching a blank screen for 30 or so seconds, but thankfully we're back in a great game as we see Hässliche Erdferkel winning 9-8. I'm Liam Grant here, joined with Emmy Fitzgerald.
Yes, they're currently leading and coming out of half. Some pretty exciting points trading back and forth. Hässliche Erdferkel leading 9-8 so far.
As you see, the classic crossfield pass from Hammond. He's thrown a handful of those already this game, and each one pinpoint on the money.
And Hammond with his 4th assist so far of the game, I believe. And in a survey that we put out, we asked, what type of throws should we really look out for? And he said knives, scoobers, hammers, and bad push passes.
As we see the previous score from Australia, that one keeping the game within 2.
Our monitor isn't on right now, so you know.
So now Friskee's back on offense. The score is 10-8 to Hässliche Erdferkel. They're 2 breaks to 1. And also started on offense in this game, so having an advantage there. Friskees will need to break twice if they want to win this one. Emmy, who's really impressed you in this game so far?
So far, I think definitely Alexander Gann has been a really big part of the offense. And Nora Vilkening's deep shot catch with her deep cut into the end zone. So fast.
Yeah, definitely Gann had that kind of moments in the game where he really took over and got a lot of assists. But since then, you can see Erdferkel have adapted to that, really trying to force him deep, putting a lot of big players on him. Thomas. Wickrama. In a little trouble on the sideline, looking at the swing off, gets it with the inside, now to Gann. Oh, and bobbles out of the hands. Can she get on the second attempt? Yes, she can. Georgia Ewan does fantastic to rescue that one. Oh, and looks like there's going to be a discussion here. Call on the field. You see the sideline waving their hands in the air like they just don't care, but they very much care, and that's why they're doing so, because that is a woofed up hand signal for a call on the field.
And with language barriers, the hand signals are crucially important.
And it comes back in. Georgia left quite isolated. But now Thomas, right when you need him, he's there. Shot to the end zone. That one zips out the back. Too much mustard.
And that's a really difficult throw to make, especially without some angle on it. Same third, your cutter is running away from you. Something that commonly happens with end zone looks.
Yeah, I think you're getting a little frustrated. You see a small little window and you're just trying to jam it in there, and sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. Erdferkel with a chance to stretch their lead to 3. Got the full field to go. I see the option straight away, and he's going to send it like he should. Unbelievable pace from Lasse. Ida Dumo, great goal. Unbelievable break for Erdferkel.
Lasse Hugin, so just putting on the jets to head to the end zone. So much separation she had between her and her defender. And you can see that she started running before the disc was thrown. And that was Ida Duman who had the score. And it's Ida's brother's 18th birthday back in Germany. And so the family is having a birthday party for him, of course. And this live stream is crashing the birthday party. So happy birthday, brother Duman.
Yeah, Dumo, yeah, great goal there. I'm sure everyone at the birthday party was going crazy at an amazing deep cut and a great goal. And they are now 3 points ahead, looking to upset the top seed of this pool. And there's a lot of talk about Friskee. You know, we've seen the Australian teams in the past do very well in the mixed division, but just the solid O-line of Erdferkel and then mixing up in D have shown them they've really tactically won the game so far.
And they're doing what works. You can tell that Hässliche Erdferkel is playing within their system, using various parts in that, but it's going effectively.
And like, I think the Australians have the athleticism, certainly the likes of Parsons, Lee, but they can't seem to use it that effectively. You see Erdferkel here playing his own and just very aware of what's behind him downfield and shutting down the options. Now he sees him shoot down the sideline. Lee, the give-go. Transitioning to match defense. Gann now sees Parson in the end zone. Cheeky little scuba over the top. Not sure if he needed to do that, but adding some style. Now Gann, has to toe the line and coming across. Florian Venner, haven't seen too much of him this game, but gets a great D there.
Florian Venner is there when you need him, and it looked like it was going to be a goal for Friskee, and there comes Venner really out of nowhere, but I appreciate that he avoided body contact as well, went straight for the disc.
Yeah, nothing Gann could do. He was caught in no man's land waiting for that disc to arrive. Venner was given a chance to come across. Vilkening now, putting it out into space. And now we see another deep shot. They like the hook, and you can see why. Another, looks like a beautiful pass and just taking her eye off it. Angelina Weiss.
71 on 71. Angelina Weiss, so much speed, but Eunice Chung closing in and just getting that perfect position.
Yeah, she's had a great game so far. Some beautiful hawks, and now some nice defensive pressure to accompany that. And again, this zone very effective from the Germans, playing a kind of a 3-2-2. Parsons now putting it back to Ishan Wickrama. Lee now starting to go through this zone like a hot knife through butter, but as I say that, they throw it out of bounds. And again, the Germans doing so well to nullify that athleticism and make them focus on accurate throws, and that's been their undoing so far this game.
And because Thomas Mueller was so close to Callan Spielman, the throw had to be really wide, a little too wide.
Let's see if he'll huck it again. Julian Ozer, yes he does. He's not afraid to send it. And a beautiful box out and read. And in the end zone, absolutely acres free. And it's a great goal for Erdferkel.
Lucas Beneman reaches behind him to get that throw. And a lot of great hustle. I believe that was Miriam Zulzman in the end zone for the score. Doing a great job with that continuation.
Now on a 3-point run. The Germans starting to get some separation. Looks like Friskee are calling a timeout, and they need to do so. Often the case when you get scored on 3 times in a row, rule of thumb is often call a timeout, stop that momentum.
And if you listen to the Ulti-World preview podcast, Charlie Eisenhood and I were talking about these two teams, and Friskee is one that they first started playing Ultimate, the founders, because in 2006 they found a DVD about Ultimate in a local sports store, and thought, this looks like a lot of fun. I think I want to play. They were in high school at the time. And you'll notice on their jerseys, they have hearts around their numbers. They wear a heart on their sleeve because that meaning of really playing with their hearts on their sleeves. So even when they're down, a lot of times that grit that you have of playing with that emotion and love for your teammates can help drive you. On the other side of the field, Hässliche's Erdferkel it's come from a smaller college town community, so they're very tight-knit, and they play like young players do, but then they do that combination mix between experience and youth, as you can see from precision throws combined with the athleticism downfield.
Yeah, they're going to need a whole lot of love if they want to get back into this one. And essentially, Marburg, it's like it's a college team has made it to to World Ultimate Club Championships, but they've just grown together as a unit, pushed each other, been there when they've needed. And you have an interesting story about Marburg, Emmy.
I do. So my parents, my mother is Japanese, my father is American, but they met in Marburg, in that college town, at the college there, back in the 70s. And then around their 38th or 39th wedding anniversary, they journeyed back to Marburg where they met, climbed the clock tower in the center square. They said they climbed it a little bit more slowly than they did when they were in their 20s. But I told the players and the team, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Marburg and their college.
And that clock tower, that is a very adorable story, Emmy. But another piece to the Marburg puzzle story. Lean out the disc. The Chung. Gan. Now we see Wickrama going deep for the first time and gets an easy goal. Switching off for a second on the handler that strikes deep. And they definitely needed that goal to stop that run. Good timeout call and come out strong with a no turnover 0 point.
I love the huck and then the quick dish to Gan to send that to Wickrama. And we've seen Friskee a couple different times send handlers into the deep space. Sometimes that your matchups might be a little bit more favorable for that. Seems like that was kind of part of the play with this, as Eshan Wickrama just plucks that right out of the air.
And that is Gan's 5th assist of the game. That is sensational. Only matched by Hammond on the German side. So we have two gunslingers in our midst. As you see now, Catherine Smith again with the pull. She put in her survey that her height is about twice the length of her hair. Golden locks, many people would recognize from U23s back in London. Hugin, Hammond. Hugin now got a player streaking deep, feed big, looks off the shot. Lutz, Wilkening, Hammond, Hugin. Shoots to the middle. Just getting small yards for now. We'll see if the deep shot comes. Great switch downfield. Stops the deep shot. Oh, and an unusual scuba. Sugar-coated quite low down. Places it on the cone. What's D's there, me?
It's unusual, but it worked. And it seems like the receiver was aware of what was happening. And so takes some skill to know. Go where the disc is going. And Stefan Doscher was there for that. Much lower scuba than I think even the thrower was hoping to make.
As we see, Hässliche Erdferkel with a bit more swag in this stride, keeping their 3-point lead on the board. We'll be back in just a moment.
Heat illness strikes kids and adults alike during summer workouts. Watch for muscle cramps, fever, nausea, headache, weakness, or feeling faint. Act fast to get cool and get fluids.
And we are back at this showdown in the mixed division going into the business end. I'm Liam Grant, joined by Emmy Fitzgerald. Friskee coming out in offense. Need to get some breaks back on the board though if they want to get a W and keep their perfect record so far. Gann now at the disc. Hits Parsons in the middle, isolated. Seeing that side stack again for the first time since the first half. Gann. Thomas. Big shot now to Gann. He has the legs, but does he have the height? Oh, it's stolen like a thief in the night. Grabbed right in front of his vision.
Julian Oser just comes right out of the sky to go get that disc. It looks like, though, there's some discussion where Gann is saying he had it first. And in ultimate, the tie does go to the offense. Let's take a look here. What do you think, Liam?
Colossal play. Gets used. I think the defender got there first. He was definitely, on the inside lane, so it would make sense. Yes, it does look like he got his hand on it first. You can see where Gann is coming from. They have yet to use the VAR assistant in the far end zone, the Jumbotron. Looks like the players just going to discuss it themselves.
It did. So we have the benefit of seeing it again. We can see it again in slow motion. They don't at that time. However, the game observer is there where she can chime in and say what she thinks. Interpret that for us.
And it looks like it's going to be called a turnover as we see that beautiful replay. Players not needing it, though, to come to the same resolution.
That was great. Great spirited discussion. And use of the game advisor, who is based out of Colorado in my region. She's been an observer many, many times for my games.
Vilkening. Ozer, who's had a great game so far, not just defensive plays, but also boosting it. I see them tear down the field. Lisa Kokol. Looks like there's a call in the field. Possibly going back for a travel.
It did look like a travel way back, but was really nice movement. Sometimes maybe that is a result of a violation of some sort, but Lisa Kuchel had great hands to grab that one-handed while in mid-stride.
Yeah, Kokol has some separation now. See if she goes deep. She decides not to. Great battle between Parsons and Vilkening. Pushes her to getting just a few yards.
Hässliche's Erdferkel is very much on the far side of the field, not using the full width, probably as much as they could, which makes those huck looks very difficult.
And looks like Eunice Chung has injured herself downfield. She's had an amazing game so far. Hopefully it's just something she can shake off.
Looks like she's limping a little bit. We wish her all the best. She plays on Rogue, the women's team in Australia. And if you're not familiar, Australia has an open season and a mixed season that are at separate 6 months apart, really. So players can play women's or men's and mixed. So some of these players played with Colony, the men's team that's here in the open season, but elected for WUCC to play with Friskee. It's their group of friends, their history, but I think that's a really interesting approach.
Yeah, it's the same in Ireland as well, and a lot of countries in Europe. For us in the Emerald Isle, we'll play mixed season in spring, and it's usually a couple of tournaments, and then by the time summer comes around, there really isn't any mixed tournaments. It's nearly everyone always plays in 2 divisions. It's very normal. It's kind of almost expected that, okay, yeah, we're playing mixed now. Okay, this time you were playing men's and women's. And then usually in winter we're playing indoors. There's no peaking. There's no off time. We just bounce between different surfaces and divisions. So it's a bit different to what a lot of people would be accustomed to in the US and other parts of the world.
And I guess maybe the difference is in the U.S. during the spring, there's such a large college season, but then there are also a lot of fun tournaments that happen at the same time. But I guess there are fun tournaments that happen all throughout the year as well.
Yeah, I think what's unusual in Europe, you'd say like possibly one of the most fun tournaments, Windmill, but all the best teams go there. You know,
highly
Clapham
competitive.
Wins, highly competitive, but also fun. So it's well, I think in the US, a lot of the fun tournaments, you'll see kind of random teams of friends come together, and usually some kind of hilarious name with a bit of a pun and kind of funny costumes, and then it switches back to a very serious outfit in the club season. So different setups in different countries. But yeah, like we kind of combine the both fun and competitive into one big jumbled up mess.
And I think that's the root of Ultimate, which of course is celebrating its 50th year. So here at the Tournament Hotel, they have an exhibit, a little museum exhibit set up as well.
Loser shoots straight away. He only had a couple of seconds off that timeout. And this one, oh, gathered up. How did she come down with that one? Defenders all around her, caught it in traffic.
Stephanie Fiebig keeping her eye on the Frisbee the entire time. So many defenders all around her, and manages to keep it in bounds. So many things that she had to keep in mind to get this goal.
Yeah, eventually bundled in, as you see. Oh, good defensive
So there was
pressure.
a tip, and then there was a tip, a defender, close to the goal line, out of bounds line. Another swat from Wikarema.
I think fair play to both Australian defenders. Made great bids without initiating any contact or undue foul.
It's just really exciting to watch both sides. And for Friskee, this is not the result, certainly, that they were hoping for, but gotta give credit. It's been a very exciting game, but I'm excited to see how Hässliche's Erdferkel do for the rest of the tournament. I mean, we've seen Groot lose some games unexpectedly, and they came in as the favorite from Europe, certainly, in mixed. And so far, there are more games that Hässliche's Erdferkel need to play, but they could be really interesting come bracket time.
Well, every major European tournament Hässliche Erdferkel seems to go to, they get stopped by Groot. The last 3 times they've played each other, they've lost 15-14. The last 2 European championships, they've got knocked out by Groot 15-14, and also Windmill just a few weeks ago losing 15-14. So
oh my gosh.
Groot is often seen as the top mixed team in Europe, but often only 1 point separating these two. So very close as we see another hook go up, that one a little too low and lasers out of bounds.
So maybe for both teams here, it's nice to then compete on an international stage where you can see teams from other continents. And for Groot, it seems very evenly matched, but so far they've just had a little bit more edge.
And this is game point for Erdferkel. Oh, and a monumental layout, full extension, sends it straight to the end zone, and a great goal. Some momentum back with the Aussies.
Deborah Lee coming through when it matters. What a layout, D. A play like that, too, just really fires up the team as well.
We now see the Hässliche Erdferkel O-line coming back out. Broken once this game and only once all tournaments so far. Can they do it with this game point? They want to end this one early.
Any additional rest that you can get is so beneficial, even if it's a shorter point. Wow, what a bid!
Yeah, that was perfect form. Rounds the corner, keeps it clean as well. And then wastes no time. Gan wants a few more assists to his name.
To take a cue from Erdferkel, that was a pretty ugly bid, I've got to say.
Yeah, getting ugly there. Getting a taste for the Cincinnati grass.
It's long, but it is pretty soft.
Hammond. Side stack now from the Germans, but the Aussies come out in the zone. Oh, and a hammer right over the top. And they're off to the races. Vilkening and Doscher. Very hard to stop. Just a few more yards to go, and another hammer. Playing with some flair now. Their tails are up. The writing is on the wall. Can they convert this one? Again, that high bladey flick around. Hugin. Vilkening. Big fake, creates the space for Hammond. And a 1-3-2-1 zone here as you see a chase or a rabbit on the mark. Running around, travel called, and a wall of 3 players in front.
So they've really recognized what Hässliche's Erdferkel want to do with this zone.
And you can see they're actually discussing how they're going to beat the zone midpoint, having a little discussion. You got 10 seconds, 5 more than I need. I'll chat for the first few. Hammond spends most of his time talking, and that is some spice right there, and it's not going to work. Hammond getting frustrated. Let's see if they can get their second break of the game. Low pass, had to lay out, digs deep to get that one. Pick called. I imagine it's going to stay with Zalums. We got down and dirty to rescue that one. They want to keep this game alive. They're going to need 5 breaks in a row if they're going to take this one.
Stranger things have happened.
She resets. Lachlan Murphy. Man, I recognize from 123s. Usually goes deep like he's just done now. A little older, a little wiser. Salem's having a great point. Now with Hammer. Thomas Vaux. A bit more patient now. Vaux, oh, in the space for Parsons, and she gets big. Vaux tries to continue. She looks like she's going to do something spicy. That was very dangerous and wasn't going to work.
And both sides of the field, kind of risky shots, low percentage completion into the end zone.
Now a hammer into the middle. There's no mid in that zone, so that's where you feel the space is. With 4 up top.
I would love to play Gultimates with Hammond. I think it would be so fun with all of his crazy throws.
Yeah, I don't know if I could deal with all his crazy talking to it and orchestrating. The man is very good, but you can see he likes to voice his opinion on the field. And now just playing a game of hammers. He's trying to tire out the zone, you feel. Hugin. And a bit static now, the Germans. Oh, now we see that threading pass as they open it up. Let's see if they transition now or they stick with the zone. Looks like they are, and that's a hammer to the captain. Oh, and another one that's not going to work out. Just getting red zone fever, both teams.
Erdferkel eager to end the game, but showing composure. You know, there are a lot of upside down throws, but completed and looks like the right decision. And then just a little too much in the end zone.
Yeah, I think Dosher's discussing whether it was a foul, and there might have been a little contact, but I think he was actually out of bounds when he was making that play anyway, so I don't think it should affect. And we see the hand flipping over the woofed up hand signal for a turnover. So a long point as we have Thomas Vo pick up the disc. Haven't seen too much of him, but then again, we haven't seen too much of the Friskee D-line offense. Setting up an avert stack now, and we have Callan Spielman in the lane. Dosher peeled off the back to help out, and then they hit his player, Lachlan Murphy. Vo into space now, Spielman, and Lachlan Murphy's gone. Oh, he had a lot of space, but it doesn't come. Vo hits Murphy now. Uses his leap to catch that one with ease. A big battle this point continues. I believe they have some timeout left, but this time sending it. Dosher into pursuit and maybe gets over the top, and a great defensive play, minding the house. Sarah Hammer had beaten her own player, but El Capitan there to rescue that one.
And you could see there are 3 defenders coming in underneath, but a long point taking an injury timeout, or an injury substitution rather.
I know that's an injury to the lungs, as many players hands on knees. This has been a tiresome point. And manages to get over the top there, and again does well to not initiate any contact. Both teams producing some very fair bids this game.
That was very, very clean on the disc on offense. I think that was Sarah Hammer who recognized it as well.
Yeah, a great exhibition of playing high-level ultimate, but also being respectful to other people on the field. Again, the General Hamann issuing his orders. Looking to set up the space there. Dosher in the middle. Parsons tries to get on him, but Hammer dropped right on his head. Again, they're looking for that middle space, which I think is free for the overhead. Dosher, oh, and a great D there.
Such close quarters. Working over the top, but when it's at chest level, a little bit more difficult to compete.
Hammer. Oh, that one not actually deep, but the pressure alone got to him. And he sends it straight away. Can Vo get to it in time? Oh, layout attempt, he gets there. This point continues, a mammoth exhibition.
Love Thomas Vo refusing to give up. But then on the Erdferkel side, 2 bids, one to just seal off the space from Dumont, and then the other from Hamann. 7 total turnovers in this point so far.
Yeah, and you feel like this is a big ask for Hammer, her own end zone line. Players quite tired. No one free so far. We see the up line, and that one's going to drift right out of bounds. And now the short field. Hamann picking it up. Crossfield Hammer duels. Captain Dosher wrapping this one up. 15-10 the final score.
And the Hammer really won the game in that last point. Even though there were some incompletions in the end zone. Really spirited game on both sides of the disc, and hats off to Hässliche Erdferkel in really just pounding and using both their men and their women in the deep space, looking for that separation.
Yeah, I think they're just a very well-drilled team with some creative throws. They set up that hammer cut beautifully. And as he said, they went to college together. These players know each other like the back of their hands and were able to take down the top seeds Friskee. I can still see Friskee finishing second in this group, which would mean they'll carry over this result into the power pools and maybe can try and steal a top seed there. But we'll maybe go into bracket play, actually, the mixed division.
And across the pool, Urusol is ahead of Iku, 14-11. Panthers burn 12-11 over Discoterix.
As we see a little highlight package here of some great plays this game. Scoreline not as close as we thought, but some fantastic ultimate from both teams. A lot of hucks, a lot of hucks as we can see in the replays. And
Using
some well
that
contested
spacing.
this. That one's stolen. Gan, who had a fantastic game. I believe 6 assists to his name.
And never giving up. As soon as that disc goes up, so much intensity. Both teams. Ida Dumont, her family watching.
Julian Ozair, an absolute tyrant on that D-line offense. You see plenty of hucks from him in this highlight reel. And just conviction in every throw and backing it up. That amazing layout bid. Lee. And this is the final score of the game. It's been a great one to watch. Thanks for tuning in. I've been Liam Grant.
With Emmy Fitzgerald.
See you all soon.